Hey guys, let's talk about Doctor Who, Episode 4. Boom. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back again to the channel that is your home for tech, toys, and talk. And of course, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again. We're talking Doctor Who again. What they're calling Season 1, the Disney streaming Season 1, let's just say, with our 15th Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa. This is Episode 4. Boom. Now this one, this I'm jamming with. This I am jamming with. I've liked the other episodes, especially the Devil's Cord. I liked it. I vibed on it. Don't hate me, guys. Now this one, boom. This is written by a veteran writer of Doctor Who and former showrunner Steven Moffat. You could tell this was Steven Moffat. Every little bit, slivers of past Doctors, past stories that he's written. This is the guy who gave us Blink. This is the guy that ushered in the 11th and the 12th Doctors. And you're vibing. I mean, I was vibing all over this one. The Doctor and, of course, Ruby land on this planet. But as they land on this planet, well, they're already landing on this planet, they hear someone screaming out in pain. Of course, the Doctor hears pain. He comes a running. Now, this one brings back the I can't even say the word right. Anyway, the priest, the Church Marines. Okay, he brings back the Church Marines. There's a Church Marine. I'm going to call it Church Marine. I just can't say Angler. I mess up the words, guys. I'm sorry. The Marines, one of them is blinded. Another one is killed by a mind. Now, there's a mind that it can detect fear. It can detect emotions, anxiety, and of course, there's a pressure mine on top of that. It kills this one Marine. Another one is blind, and there's these weird, small, mini tank upright robots, if you will, driven by AI, and they're the Marines' version of an ambulance. It detects that this Marine is blind, and because in war, a blind Marine is not a fighting Marine. Let's be honest. So it decides to give him a mercy by ending his life. This is Moffat. He comes out with the fear. He comes out with the terror, and as the Doctor reaches where this Marine was, he finds no one there. He finds nobody at all. But he accidentally steps on the mine. So now the mine is triggered, and the Doctor's trapped, and he has fear. He has dread. He doesn't know if he's going to make it out of this one. And then, of course, Ruby comes running. They have a little bit of back and forth, and then Ruby, these drones come by, kind of scare the crap out of her, and they're basically vacuuming, taking out all the particulates in the air, trying to clear the air. And the Doctor, of course, does a little quip where he talks about, hey, don't worry, these are just drones. They're hoovering up all the poison, all the pollution, because you should be breathing. You should be breathing clearly before you get shot, because it's a war zone. And of course, at that moment, she's frozen in delight and fear and so many different emotions all at once, because she realizes, wait a minute, she's on another planet. She's not on Earth anymore. This is the first time she's off-world, so she's getting to see this majestic view of another planet in the sky with these massive rings. It looks amazing. And of course, for a human, let's be honest, a companion, the first time they're in space, there's just a well of so many emotions that get wrapped up into them, right? They don't know how to react. They just react in awe. And that's what Ruby does. And the doctor realized, oh, I'm so sorry, Ruby. I'm so sorry. This is your first time on another world. I mean, the doctor forgot that this would even be her first time. Um, this doctor, I know a lot of people have been throwing around the word woke and throwing out so many different phrases and terms and criticisms, but I'm vibing on him. Okay, 15th Doctor. This is a doctor who. No, I didn't mean to say Doctor Who. Doctor Whom uh, isn't he's something new. Okay, obviously when we had the bi generation, David Tennant, number 14, well, number 10 and 14, um, he separated and number 15 came out of him. But Tennant's 14 carried on all uh, the wear and tear of being the doctor, the anger, the loss, the frustrations. He carries it with him. And our 15th Doctor, he remembers all that. He remembers losing Gallifrey not once but twice. He remembers all the trials and tribulations of the Gallifreyan High Council, the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Master, everything. He remembers all that, but it's not weighing him down. This is a doctor who, uh, again, sorry guys, I didn't mean to say it. This is this is a doctor whom is not necessarily free of burden, but he doesn't let that burden define him. He's even told Ruby, listen, I don't have a mission. I don't have responsibilities. I can go wherever I want to, whenever I want to, with whomever I want to. This is a carefree doctor, okay? I'd say that he kind of harkens back to classic Who, when we had the third, the fourth, the fifth doctors. I mean, they kind of swaggered into their TARDIS and traveled all over the universe. And yes, when things got dirty, when someone needed help, the doctor went to the rescue. And that's what I'm vibing on him. Now, this episode, we get the Angular. Again, I can't say the right word. We get the church Marines, the religious Marines, and the doctor even makes a reference to them, like oh yeah, because Ruby says, you know, Marines, church Marines, like what's this about? Yeah, I've never heard of anything like that. And he makes a reference to Earth being just a blip, because her time, of course, we don't have, an order of a militaristic army for the Vatican or for any religious, you know, followings on our Earth. But out in space, it's a whole different story, of course. And Moffat was known for kind of having those Marines pop up and now and again and again and again. I mean, we had it in the 11th Doctor's final story. We had it in was it episode 3 or 4 of Matt Smith's first season, because that's, they run into River. They're, and they're facing off the Angels. There's a couple episodes that was a 2-part episode right there. Of course, when Amy Pond was kidnapped when she was pregnant. Again, it was the Marines and Madame Convaria. And I mean, it's, you know, we've seen them happen a bunch of times, and for the most part, they are good guys. And these, we get, obviously, the Marine who died, who passed away, was a father. He had a daughter named Splice. You gotta love the names. You just gotta love the names. This is the future, guys. Don't have hangups. Well, he dies, but he's kind of in his body and everything is encased into this small cylinder like thing that's like half flesh and half like AI system. So we see the hologram, and the daughter is not brought to tears by her father. She's been raised in that faith that her mother had died several years before, and that knows that her mother is in a better place, and now her father's in a better place, but she still has an AI version of her father. It is weird. It is kind of crazy. At one point, we get a Marine by the name of Monday, and the doctor makes this little funny joke, like, I would love right now, Ruby, if Ruby got married to Monday, so she could be Ruby Sunday Monday. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. But this episode, It wasn't the sheer fear that we're used to with a lot of Moffat's scripts or his screenplays. And I'm calling this a screenplay because this was beautiful. This episode felt like a slight love letter to Doctor Who fans. And I'll explain why I say that. One, we get the Marines back. And the Marines they're just trying to do good. They're trying to bring peace to this world, even though we find towards the end of the episode there is no enemy. Kind of weird and twisted, I know. But we get this Marine Monday who she wants to protect Splice by any means necessary, and she thinks the Doctor is a threat. So she actually shoots the Doctor a couple times in his arm, and he's trying to tell her, "Listen, you don't want to keep doing this because this type of mind that the Doctor is on, it just doesn't explode. It just doesn't vaporize. It basically turns that human, that being who stepped on that mine, it turns them into the explosive, and obviously the person would then explode. Well, for a human, that's not that much of a big bang. Now, for a Time Lord, that's a whole other proposition, and the Doctor even tells her, he's like, I don't sense any explosion, any explosive, and she explains that no, you become the explosive. And he says, "No, you need to stop shooting me. Scan me. I'm a Time Lord. I'm a fixed point in time. I will destroy this whole area." You know, and then she doesn't believe him, and then eventually she goes ahead and she scans him, and then she realizes you could blow up half the planet. He's a Time Lord. All that energy inside of him. So yeah, and at that point the ambulance shows up. Of course, the ambulance is trying to scan him. At one point, Ruby gets injured, so she is scanned, and she's on barely any life support. It's just one. Moffat does great at putting the Doctor in peril from jump. It was the beginning of, the little gambit, the little teaser, right in the beginning of the show, where up until the point before you hear the theme music, the Doctor was in danger by that point. And the Doctor stays on this landmine the entire episode practically. Um, it wasn't a terribly long episode, but it felt great. It felt like a very fast momentum. We get so many drops. We get so many Easter egg drops. Like the Doctor after obviously the Doctor and Ruby save the day, or should I say mostly the Doctor. He tells the little girl, he tells, he says, I'll be back to check up on you, and by the way, I love fish fingers and custard. Great callback to the 11th Doctor. I love that. We and some of the music and some of the phrases that the Doctor used in this episode were throwbacks to the 11th and the 12th Doctor. Um, this was I really enjoyed this episode as a classic Who fan and of a new Who fan. I really enjoyed this episode. I would love to see more episodes written by Moffat. I would like to see him come back a couple more times. I would love to see. I'm hoping for a Neil Gaiman script. Um, you know, it's great, and there's a lot of people who are writing online who are saying they would love to see Russell and Steven work together on an episode or even two episodes. Um, I think that would be tremendous. I get that Russell is trying to usher in this new Doctor into 2024. Let's be honest. When he brought back Doctor Who, it was in 2005. Special effects were still a little janky, and some of the episodes were a little hokey, but he was trying to bring, classic Who into the new millennium. You got to have some trade offs, guys. You definitely have to have some trade offs. I enjoyed this episode. I really did. I really wanted. I honestly would have loved this to be like a full hour. I think they could have thrown some more into there, but you know what? Sometimes short is sweet, guys. Sometimes short is sweet. Um, there is a second Marine who kind of has a thing for Monday, and he gets killed. And I almost think that this could be I mean, it could be a setup. I could see us seeing Monday again in the future. You know, uh, I can definitely see Monday in the future. Who knows, a future companion. When I saw Splice at first, I thought maybe she could have been future companion, or someone we might have seen previously. But this was the wrong planet for that. Um, in the episodes when Amy Pond was kidnapped and the Marines were holding her, there was one young Marine who sided with the Doctor and his friends. And I was almost thinking like Splice could have been her, but obviously different names for one, and two, it was a different planet because she talked about her planet and her people. Of course, that's where River gets her name from, River Song, because they didn't have a name for Pond, so the name was River. So I almost thought that the young actress who played her would have been great for that role. Uh, Lorna was the character's name from that episode, yes. Um, but I could definitely see the young girl, maybe a grown up version of her, being a future companion. Why not? Um, I wish we could have saw a little bit more um, with the Marines. I mean, all that these Marines know is they're here to face an enemy. There was no enemy to be found. It was kind of a weird corporate thing with these ambulances that run on a weird algorithm AI thing. And the big hero of the episode was the father's AI. The Marine who dies in the beginning and becomes an AI that the Doctor talks to. The Doctor actually talks to the AI, talks the AI into basically jumping from its urn, if you will, its receptacle, passing through the Doctor, passing through these electrodes that the ambulance fixed onto the Doctor, and then going into the ambulance itself and actually overriding its AI. The Doctor actually says, "Father to father." So this is another thing that I'm loving about this iteration of the Doctor, with the writing and with how Ncuti Gatwa is portraying it. We've heard him reference in the Beatles episode, the 1960s episode with the music, the Devil's Chord. We saw the Doctor mentions to Ruby like, "Hey, I'm actually here right now." Well, an early version of me with my granddaughter. Um, and then in this episode, we hear him say, "Father to father." It's These are things that we haven't had before. I mean, we're getting references to the Doctor being in the same place that he currently is. We get him talking more about his family. In the past, the Doctor's always been, very reluctant to mention that he had a granddaughter or that he was a father before. It almost seemed like it was like trying to pry secrets out of a spy. But this Doctor, he's more open. And I mean, there are some people who are criticizing, "Oh, he keeps saying sweetie." Hey, that's his personality. You know, that's the actor's personality coming through in the character that he's playing. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I think that is bloody fantastic. Okay? I get that it's not everyone's cup of tea, but guess what? The Doctor has been around for, well, canon wise, for thousands upon thousands or even millions of years, thanks to that trap, thanks to Gallifrey, when the 12th Doctor kept reliving the moment over and over and over and over and over again. But this is a Doctor who, again, I said it. Sorry, guys. This is a Doctor whom is free of burden, who's free to love anyone and everyone he wants to. I mean, we already had an omnisexual character in Captain Jack Harkness, okay? And of course, Captain John Hart from Torchwood, we, people shouldn't, and I don't mean to preach, but people shouldn't get hung up on personalities or relationships. I mean, the 13th Doctor, she had a will they, won't they with Yaz, and it never fulfilled itself. But a lot of people were kind of rooting for it, some not. But you got to realize the Doctor can be anyone and everyone. He could be male, female, who knows? We could have a gender neutral Doctor in the future. It's not impossible. It's just that people get hung up on so many things, but I think this episode was fantastic. I love this episode. The Doctor was actually afraid. The Doctor had fear. He had anger. Well, not really a whole lot of anger, but he had fear. He had tears coming down his eyes. Ncuti Gatwa, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, The man can cry on cue. He is magnificent. And I'm kind of glad we're not really seeing his funky little remote control screwdriver, his Sonic. I don't like the shape. I don't like how Sonic looks like some weird, funky, curvy remote control. It looks like it's from the movie Click. I'm not a fan of it, but that's neither here nor there. And I love at the end of the episode that the doctor's looking for something. We're thinking he's looking for his Sonic, but Ruby pulls out the key because he had gave her a key at the end of the last episode. So that was nice. But one thing that was kind of another obvious hint is right in the middle of the episode. There's some arguing, and then suddenly, now at the moment, Ruby's knocked out. She is unconscious. It looks like she could be dying. The snow appears again. Those snowflakes that just appear out of nowhere and then freeze. They appear again. Obviously, Ruby is connected to something much bigger. I mean, could she be a Time Lord? Could she be something else? We don't know. She obviously has a strong connection. She is special beyond anything that we've seen before. I mean, sure, Rose Tyler was able to, evaporate and dissolve a whole fleet of Daleks, but that's because she looked in the heart of the TARDIS. Donna Noble, she was part of the meta crisis, but again, that was because of an event that happened inside the TARDIS. River Song, human parents, but conceived inside the heart in the TARDIS itself, or conceived in a room inside the TARDIS while the TARDIS was traveling through time in the vortex. Obviously, these were all events. Ruby, we don't know what her origins are. I mean, part of me wants to think that she could be something to do with the Time Lords or even the Doctor's original race. Due to the Timeless Child and the whole, uh, you know, recanonization thanks to Chibnall. Who knows? But I think Russell T Davies is doing a bang up job. I really do. I get that it's not everyone's cup of tea, and the fact that a lot of people are now watching this on Disney, they fear that Disney is making moves, that they're changing it. They are not. Disney, again, only happens to be the streaming service for Doctor Who. So, we'll see what happens with this, guys. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Waiting to see what the next episode brings. We're already into the fourth episode, and it begs a lot of questions, a lot of mysteries. What is going on? What is going on with what is Ruby? Who is Ruby? What will Ruby become by the end of this journey? We already know that the actress who plays Ruby is not going to be here for season 2. It's sad, but sometimes we get a one season companion. Martha Jones, Donna Noble. We get those. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But I really enjoyed this episode. It's definitely worth a couple rewatches. It's great seeing the little Easter egg comments here and there. This doctor is a doctor that I would not want to mess with. He embraces his emotions. He embraces fear, anger. He embraces it. I would say this is more of a humanized doctor, although there are times when he is the doctor, without a doubt. He is fearless. He is defiant. But this doctor, he's a father. He admits he's a father. He's carries himself with his emotions. He wears his emotions like badges of honor. And I'm really enjoying it. Guys, let me know. Did you watch Boom? Did you watch Doctor Who episode 4, Boom? What did you guys think of it? I want to know your comments in the comments section below. And as always, guys, if you have any comments, questions, concerns about this episode or anything that we feature on Dave's Dimension, please don't forget, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Daves_Dimension. And always email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com. Every Tuesday night, we host Tuesday Night Talks, which is a hangout stream where I invite you, anyone and everyone out there who might have a YouTube channel, a Kick, Twitch, whatever kind of formats. Maybe you stream on Instagram, maybe you do a TikTok, you do live streams on Facebook, wherever and everywhere you go. If you want to come on and, grow your channel a little bit, come on in. Tuesday nights, we host a live stream, usually between 8 or 9 p.m., depending on time zones. and we just have an open stream where you get to talk about your channel, who you are, what made you get into YouTube. And we also talk about the latest and greatest entertainment news going around the world, and also toy collecting views and point of views, and what's coming through the pipeline, what do we like, what we don't like. It's just an open stream hangout, fun. Leave the baggage at the door, and let's just have a great time, guys. But guys, that's it. If you like this episode, give me that thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see more content like this, please hit that red button, hit that bell for notifications, and you guys know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busting, and I'm always going to catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.